to share this live stream over to the group. Okay. Who's excited to talk money? Okay. Oh, I can't see. There we go. My glasses are darker than I thought. Okay. All right, live now. And go. Okay. So, let me get out of Facebook here. Okay, here we go again. I lost my notes. Okay, so I wanted to do this training today because so many people ask me, like, where does your money come from? Like, what comes from passive income? What comes from one-on-one clients? What comes from, group programs and, these one-off offers that you always put out? And basically, like, how much are you making every month? And so every month it is different, of course. No month is ever the same. I've been averaging anywhere from 30 to 50,000 a month. But obviously June was a very massive month where I brought in $75,233.13 in sales. So I'm going to break down right now, exactly how I was able to do that in just 1 month. You'll see why I wanted the money. First of all, I'll explain why I wanted the money, where the money came from, and then of course how I made it happen, so that you can kind of replicate this stuff in your own business, so that you can start generating more money and more sales and more clients and more customers and things like that in your business as well. So here we go. Ready? Okay, so I'm going to break down where the money came from in this 75,000 plus number. So let me see here. So was that your highest earning month this far? Yes, this June was my highest earning month so far, and July is going to be bigger. I know it. So yeah, it was definitely my biggest month so far. So from one-on-one clients, one-on-one coaching, this is with my 4-month, 6-month, and 6-week mentorship that I had in June. Right now I have the 6-month mentorship available. So if you're interested in that, send me a message and we can chat about it. There's only, I believe, 2 spots left, 2 or 3 spots left. So for one-on-one coaching, that brought in $36,505.50 in sales. My passive income streams, I have a couple different passive income products that are out right now. There is my sales course. There is my Facebook group course, how to create a Facebook group full of raving fans that always want to buy your shit. That's Facebook group All Stars. The sales course is Sales Mastery Blueprint. And then I also have the Focus Formula, which I don't even really want to say that it's passive income, although it is passive income because I don't really do anything on it anymore. I've already created everything. But I don't allow people to sign up all the time. So right now the doors are open for the Focus Formula, I think for 2 or 3 more days. I've lost count. I have to check. My calendar will tell me when, but it's only a couple days. It's like no more than 3 or 4 days. So that, if you want to check that out, it's bit.ly/TFFJuly. So the Focus Formula is another one of my products that's technically not, well, it is passive. Let's go with that. It is passive income because I don't do anything on it, but it's limited enrollment. So I only allow people to sign up a few times throughout the year. So the last time I had the enrollment open, I think was in April, I believe. Something like that. And then I only leave the doors open for a little while. So the passive income for June was $5,083.76 in passive income, and that was all in cash actually. So for Focus Formula, we're probably looking at adding another like 3,000 to that in sales, but in cash actually. I didn't for some reason translate that one into sales, but in cash that one was $5,083.76. I also did some Facebook coaching through like Facebook Messenger. I did that in June as well, and I only took on a handful of clients for that, where I worked with them for 7 days straight, giving them a strategy to create a passive income stream, set up a sales funnel, and all that good stuff. And that brought in $5,161. That's all in cash for sure. Cash and sales, because it was all paid up front. And then the Toronto Mastermind. So the Toronto Mastermind was held June 25th, so right at the end of June. And obviously we had some money for the Toronto Mastermind come in May, so this is not like everything from the Mastermind, but sales for the Toronto Mastermind was my half anyway, because I split it with Courtney, was $28,482.87. So that's a grand total of $75,233.13. Now what I want you to keep in mind is that this was in sales, okay? So I did not actually put $75,233.13 into my bank account. I did have, you know, a pretty big month for expenses in June for sure, you know, including over $20,000 combined for Courtney and myself for the Mastermind. So, I mean, if you're looking at that Toronto Mastermind figure of $28,004 something, it was technically around like $18,000 that we both made from the Mastermind, because we had over $20,000 in expenses. Had we not had any expenses, which is ridiculous, but say we didn't, then the profit would have been $28,000. So it was $28,000 in sales for my half. So in the end, let me make sure I got my numbers right here. I did fail math for a reason. Okay, yes, so after all expenses, I took home around like $35,000, something like that, from the $75,000. So I had about $40,000 in expenses. You know, almost 50% of that was from the Mastermind alone. No, it wasn't. Like a third of it. Yeah, about a third of it was the Toronto Mastermind. I also, you know, have team members that I have to pay upwards of like $10,000 to $15,000 a month, depending on how much work they're doing for me. And then I have other things going on as well that I have to invest in, such as my own mentorship, with my own coaching and stuff like that. So total that I took home, just shy of like $35,000, which is still, you know, a damn fine profit for 1 month, if I do say so myself. So I made over $75,000 in sales last month. And the reason why is because, number one, I was bound and determined to. Let me tell you a little story about why I wanted this money. So, you know, for the last, I want to say like 10 plus years, I have wanted a Cadillac Escalade. Don't ask me why. I've never been a fan of cars. I don't like cars. At least that's what I used to tell myself. I don't like cars. I don't like stuff. I like to pay for experiences. I like to pay for convenience. I like to pay for that kind of thing. I don't like to pay for stuff. But I have always wanted this beautiful Cadillac Escalade for at least a decade. I'm saying, at least. It was before I had kids. And I always kind of told myself, that's what the rich people drive. Like, you don't need that. Just be more realistic, Cassie. Like, just get a car that's going to take you from point A to point B, not V, point A to point B, and, save your money. Like, use your money to go on more vacations, and use your money to, buy a nicer house, right? Because I love having really nice homes, because that's where I spend most of my time. Like, spend that, right? And don't worry about a fancy car. You don't need a fancy car. And, I even had this thing where I was like, why do I even want that to begin with? And I think it's because deep down, it's one of those vehicles that's just like super badass. And let's be honest, I'm pretty badass. Come on now. So I don't know. I feel really good in an Escalade. Like, I feel powerful, I guess. I feel like I'm a VIP, and I am a VIP, and I want to feel like a VIP all the time. So I'm getting my Escalade, right? So that was my goal. My goal was, I want to finally allow myself to say yes to what I want. And I'm going to get myself that Escalade by the end of the summer. I was even telling my husband earlier this year, I was like, by the end of 2016, in the winter, like, I do not see us driving this minivan anymore. This like almost 10-year-old minivan that's falling apart. I do not see us driving that anymore. I don't know if I'll have my Escalade, but I don't see us driving this van anymore by the end of the year. So I set this goal in May that I was going to purchase my Escalade by the end of the summer. And I'm going to pick her up tomorrow. Yes, I am. I set this goal to make this amount of money so that I could purchase something that I wanted. So that's really like the main thing I want to get across. If you want to generate $75,000 a month or even $5,000 a month, there has to be a reason why. You can't just say, oh, that would be nice. That would be a nice amount of money to make, right? Like, oh, I want to make 5K because it sounds nice, or I want to make 10K because it sounds like a good number. It sounds like something that would be fun to make. That's not going to drive you. That's not going to really inspire you to work your ass off and make it happen. You're just gonna, you know, just toil away and do these things that you think you're supposed to do, but you don't need to. You know what I mean? So if you want to make however much money, thank you. If you ever want to make, you know, it doesn't matter how much money you want to make. You have to have a reason for the money. And I worked my ass off with that goal in mind, with the goal that I am going to make, God, how much was it? It was like 65,000 or something like that was my goal. It was like I wanted to do 65,000, and my goal for June was actually 45,000, so that I could, you know, make a bunch of money in July as well, and then by August I could get my Escalade. But obviously I did a lot better in June than anticipated, and I was able to get it earlier. And I started getting all of these messages or emails from all of these dealerships because, you know, the Escalade is something that I've been journaling about for a long time. And so it's always fresh in my mind. And, you know, I just started messaging these, emailing these dealerships saying, will you take this amount of money for this Escalade that you have for sale, just to see what they say, right? Like, I totally lowballed them. I wasn't thinking anybody was going to say yes at all. And most of them ignored me, and I was like, okay, I guess this isn't happening, you know, whatever, no big deal. And then one of them just emailed me and was like, if you come in today, it's yours, basically. Those damn salesmen, you know, deals off if you don't come in today. But I was like, sweet, I'll come in today. I will do it. So I went in and I signed everything, and I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. So, you know, things can happen really, really fast when you have a goal like that, and it's something exciting that you're pushing towards. Like, it can't be something super boring like, oh, I want to pay off my mortgage, right? Like, yeah, you want to pay off your mortgage, of course, but that's not exciting, right? To most people, it's exciting to go on a vacation or to buy themselves a new purse or a new Escalade or whatever it is. So you have to, you know, if you want to pay off your mortgage, that's great, but do that in addition to having a fun goal as well. One of my goals is to pay off our mortgage as well, and I set a certain amount of money aside every month saying, I'm putting this aside for the mortgage. Like, it's basically just like a bill I pay every month. And then my fun stuff, like the Escalade or vacations or what have you, that's what comes next, right? Like, that is the fun stuff for me. That's what gets me up in the morning is, oh, I'm so excited to get to work, not only so that I can make this money to do what I want to do with it, but also because I love my work and I love my clients and I love doing this job, and it's like, it's just an extension of me, right? It's just a part of my life. So I love doing that. So I wanted to give you, I got like a really bad glare on my laptop here. Okay, so how I bring in loads of cash every month in 4 steps, okay? So the first thing that I do is I write out my expenses for the month. So I usually do this at the end of the month. I'll write out my expenses. This is anything like, oh, I'm gonna have an interruption.
Can you do the cord downstairs?
Okay, say hi. And he just locked me out, great. So what was I saying? So yeah, so I write down all of my expenses for the month, right? So this is like my own coaching, this is paying my my team, this is my household, some of my household expenses, any type of travel that we're doing, any technology, like car stuff, whatever, all of this stuff included, right? These are the expenses that must be made, right? So this is the amount of money that I have to bring in no matter what. These are my must-have expenses, I guess you can call them. So I do that at the end of every month for the month ahead. And then the second thing I do is I add in all of my other expenses. So this is all of the fun stuff, right? So this is, you know, the new vehicle, a new fridge we had to get 1 month as well, a luxurious vacation, an extra mortgage payment even is fun sometimes to pay it down quicker, things like that, right? So I write down what my other expenses are. So I do that, and then I total everything up. So I total everything up to see what my monthly income goal is based on my expenses, both my must-have or must-pay expenses, I guess you should say, and my fun expenses, like the stuff I just want to have. So I tally that up and I see what the number is, and then what I do is I determine how many of each package or each offering that I would need to sell in order to make that amount of money. But I also give myself, you know, some flexibility and some space to just create on the fly, because I mean, if you know me at all, you know that I love to just push out offers all the time, and 9 times out of 10 they were not planned at all. It was, you know, a random idea that I had that just kind of came up, and I actually had one last night that I announced this morning privately, and I had one 2 or 3 days ago as well that I put out privately to just a handful of people. I didn't publicly announce that one. So, you know, I'm creating offers all the time. So I want to make sure that, yes, I can make all this money with the offers I currently have available, such as my one-on-one and my passive income and things like that. But I also give myself a little bit of flexibility for, you know, making money from those other offers. So that is what I do. And then step 4 is obviously to give great content every single day and to sell every single day, right? Create great content, excuse me, to create great content and sell every single day of the week, no exceptions. I don't care what's going on in your life. If you want to be successful and you want to make a lot of money, you have to create and sell on a daily basis. And if you're really, really passionate about what you do, it should not be hard for you to create great content and put out offers all the time. Like, you should be whipping those babies out all the time, all day long. Like, I create multiple pieces of content on a daily basis, and I create multiple offers, you know, on a weekly basis. I don't necessarily announce them all or promote them all, but I create them all. And it's just because it's fun to me and it comes naturally to me. So, I mean, these are the strategies the steps that I take is I write out my expenses for the month. I write out my fun expenses. I total everything up and I figure out how many of each of my current offers I'm gonna need to sell in order to hit that goal. And then I just go out there and I create great content, great free content, and then sell every single day of the week. That is it. I mean, it really is that simple. And I rinse and repeat and do this every single month, like every single month. So it's not like I have a different strategy every month. I usually have different offers every month, different content every month, of course, but my selling strategy is the exact same all the time. That is really loud. Can't wait till I get my beach house. That'll be the next thing I manifest, my beach house, so that you can hear waves in the background instead of cars. Okay, so I wanted to give you some of the sales strategies that I used in June, as well as, you know, the sales strategies that I just use all the time, like every single day when I'm selling. So there's 6 of them here. So the first one is selling every day without fail, and never once feeling bad about it, because you have to remember that when you are selling something to somebody, you're helping them with something, right? You're not selling them, you know, something just to make a quick buck. You're selling them something to help them in some way, and people are way, way willing to pay that price and invest in you to get that help. So you have to accept that that will happen. You have to accept that, yeah, there's going to be people who say, no, that's too expensive, that's too much money, you know, why are you charging that, you're an asshole. But 9 times out of 10, the people that you tell your pricing to and tell your offers to, they're going to understand that you're charging for it. They're going to understand the value and see the benefits in that. So you have to remember that selling is helping, hashtag. And then the other thing too that I do is, how do I say this? You know how you get those objections, especially the money objections, like I can't afford it, or I don't have the money, or it's too expensive, you know, or I don't have the time, or I have to check with my husband, or whatever comes up, right? So you have to handle those objections really, really well. So that's something that I've just become really good at over, you know, the last 17 months or so that I've been, you know, coaching online, is I've just been really good at handling objections. And yeah, I sucked in the beginning. It was really fucking hard. But now it's something that just comes naturally to me. I know exactly what to say to somebody, and I don't do this, again, just to make a quick buck. I do it because I know that the person, 9 times out of 10, it's just a form of self-sabotage, right? They're preventing or blocking themselves from accepting this help. It's 9 times out of 10 not the money. It's really not. Most people have the money, they just either don't know where to get it from yet, or they have the money but they're just using lack of money as an excuse, because either they don't believe in you, they don't believe in your program, or they don't believe in themselves. So I figure out which one of the 3 it is, and then I handle that objection, and sometimes the person is like, no, it's just not for me, and whatever, and you have to let that go. But most of the time I can kind of beat through the bullshit that they're feeding me and get to the real issue and help them to solve it on the phone, and they're like, okay, that makes sense, or through Messenger or however I'm talking with them, and they're like, that makes sense, it makes total sense to me, I definitely see where you're coming from, and yes, I want to do it, right? So I've turned a lot of no's into yeses by getting really, really good at handling objections. And I want you to remember too that when I say handling objections, I'm not saying you're like forcing them to say yes. You're not, trying to sell them something that they don't need. But if you're trying to offer them something that you know for sure, based on what they're telling you, that they really, really need right now, then it's your job to show them how they can get it from you. And it's your job to prove to them why they do need it and why they need to step up and stop beating around the bush and get to the real issue so that you can solve it. They can move on and they can get whatever it is that you're offering to them. Okay, so that's number 2. So number 3 is offering really great content and then asking for the sale. So one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make, and I used to make as well for a long time, was just going out there and promoting, right? So yes, you have to sell every day, but there's a specific way you need to sell. And one of the ways that I get most of my income is when I'm just creating really great content, such as a Facebook post or an email, and then at the end I'm just like, by the way, I also have this if you're interested, right? And it always relates to the post or to the content that's in there. So this is something that you can try as well, is giving really great value and then asking for the sale instead of just flat out saying, hey, buy my shit, right? Because nobody's going to be interested in that. But if you're giving them really great content, really great value right off the bat, they're going to be way more inclined to want to work with you further and to invest in whatever it is that you're selling, because you're giving great value. And this is another way too, to avoid feeling really salesy and really pushy and really sleazy, is to give really great value first and then ask for the sale. Because if you're just constantly asking for the sale, that is what's going to feel salesy. That's what's going to feel pushy and slimy and sleazy and gross. You don't want that. Okay, so give really great value. And then number 4 is, I don't do this 100% of the time, but I would say like 99% of the time, I make people reach out to me for information on something that I'm selling, instead of just saying, here's what I'm offering, here's the link, go sign up, and here's the pricing and all that stuff. Wow, I look super sweaty. It's really hot out today. It's like really, really hot. So forgive me for my condition right now. So I make people ask me for information, right? I will just say, like, send me a message or send me an email or reply to this email or leave a comment or whatever if you are interested and you want to hear more. Now, the only time that I don't often do this is if I'm selling something that's like under $300. Then usually I'll just say, here's the price, it's a crazy good deal, here's where you sign up, right? So sometimes I'll do that, sometimes I won't. But for anything over $300, 9 times out of 10, I will say, contact me if you want to know more. Contact me or let me know that you want to know more, and then I reach out to them. And the reason that this works a lot better than just giving them like a sign-up link is because you are giving them the opportunity to ask you questions, because most of the time people are going to have questions and they're either going to be too embarrassed or too shy to ask that question, or it's just going to be another step that they don't want to do. But if they're already messaging you anyway to say, hey, I'm interested, they'll usually say, hey, I'm interested, but I want to know this, right? And they'll ask the question. So it's a great way to, kind of make it a little bit easier for you to, how am I trying to say this? When you have people reach out to you privately, you're able to build that connection with them, right? Even if you're only talking with them for like 5 minutes, you're going to build a stronger connection with them there than you are in like a Facebook post, right? It's a lot easier to get that trust. So people are going to feel way more confident in their decision to purchase or to not purchase, whatever it may be, because they've spoken to you and they've asked the questions that they want to ask. So I always 9 times out of 10 do this, or I give the content and then I say, you know, if you're interested in this, let me know, and I have them reach out to me. And then number five is, so I sell a lot via live streams. So say Facebook Live or Periscope, although I'm not really on Periscope very much more. I kind of hate it. Yeah, and their motivation is different. Exactly. So when I'm selling, you know, on a live stream, right, it's, first of all, it makes you more relatable when you're on video, whether it's a live stream or it's just a regular video. It makes you more relatable. It makes you more trustworthy as well. So people can kind of put a face and a voice to a name, right? Somebody that they've been following for a while, or they've, you know, seen around for a while, they can actually look in and see who you are and what you're up to, and they can get that good vibe from you right away. So, you know, it's something that I think a lot of people need to do more of, and I know that it can be kind of nerve-wracking, and it can be, you know, something that you're scared to do, and maybe you're shy or you're nervous or whatever, but I encourage you to do it anyway, because it makes a really, really big difference in terms of your sales, your visibility, as well as your, you know, like and trust factor, right? So then the other thing that I do, I don't know if this is really a sales strategy or just something that I do to make me happy, but I always turn people away that are broke as hell. So if somebody says to me, like, I'm interested in your program, but, you know, I don't have a lot of money, or, you know, I'm interested in learning more, and then if I tell them what the price is and everything, and they're like, oh, that's too much money, do you have a payment plan or whatever, you know, I just flat out say no. Like, go away, go to somebody who does cheap shit, because you're not going to get that from me, right? Because I want to provide a high-end luxury experience for my clients, and in order to do that, I have to charge appropriately, right? Because I put a lot of time and effort into working with my clients, so I charge accordingly, and I turn people away that I just don't want to work with. Like, I don't want to deal with the headache of somebody who's always complaining that they're broke, that they're not making enough money, that nothing's working, and they're just always complaining and bitching about something. I don't want to deal with that. So I turn people away, and this, you know, frees up some headache for me, like, not frees up some headache, prevents me from getting that headache from these people, but also it makes space for the more ideal clients, right? The people who I know are actually perfect for me and perfect for the program. So those are really, you know, the main things that I do in terms of the selling strategies. And these are, you know, I do these for pretty much everything that I sell, not just what I had done in June. It's pretty much all the time. So, you know, it's really not that difficult to make money online, and it drives me crazy when people tell me that it is, because it's really not. It's just, you know, deciding what it is that you want, both financially and otherwise, and making sure that you give your money a purpose, right? So what you're going to use the money for, down to the exact penny, and then also being really specific about that money, right? So for example, exactly how much money do you need for that vacation? Do you need $7,000, or do you need $7,027.18, right? Be very, very specific. And then what you want to do is just go out there and make it happen, right? Just go out there and make it happen. Give really great value, give amazing content, and then ask for the sale, right? It's so, so easy. My income went from 5K a month to 10K to 15K to 20K a month, 30K, 50K, and now 75, right? And let me just tell you, I am just getting started. This is just the beginning for me, and I am ready to take things to the next level in my business. I know that it's possible, and that's exactly what I'm going for. And, you know, if that's something that you're interested in doing as well, you know, taking your business to the next level. I got messages here I'm trying to get out of them. There we go. You know, if you want to take your business to the next level as well, you know, I want you to reach out to me and let me know that you need that support to get to that next level, because right now I have a new mentorship program, a one-on-one mentorship program that is completely different from anything I have ever offered before, and it includes 24/7 access to me. So you're not getting like a limited amount of calls every month, you know, for a certain duration. You get 24 access to me. So if you need me twice in 1 week, 3 times in 1 week, 4 times in 1 week, I am here for you. You know, you have the email access, you have the Facebook access, you have all of that. But the calls, right, you're gonna get all of that access to me whenever you need, whenever you need me, I will be there. So send me a message if you want to know about that. There's only 4 spots, because if it's unlimited access, right, I want to give everybody plenty of time. So I have 4 spots available, and I'm pretty sure 2 of them are gone by now. 1 definitely is, and I think 1 was this morning. I haven't checked my messages in a while, so I'll have to do that and see. But I'm pretty sure at least 2 of them will be gone. So let me know if you're interested. Send me a message. You can comment on this post if you want, but sending a message is faster because I see those a lot quicker than the messages, or sorry, the comments. And I want you also to decide on what your income goal is going to be for July, right? Like, I know we're already like a week in. You can still set your goal for the next 3 weeks, decide how much you're going to make down to the penny, where that money is going to go, what you're going to use it for, how you're going to feel when you get that money, and then go out there and give amazing value, give amazing content, and sell like a motherfucker, okay? See ya.